This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Hello, everyone. Hello once again, and welcome to Buhay Bakayan. Yippee! We're here once again every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Yep. Okay, so I'm reading our scouting talents in Vegas with DEFTAL. Oh, they already know who our next guest is. Kala ko parang surprise. Oh. Yeah, I like this guy. He wears different hats too, just like me. So, all right. And then, of course, my co-host, Miss Mia Casino. Welcome.
Hello! It's a hot day today.
Hot.
Hot!
Oo, mainit pa rin, no? It's still very hot. It's still
Hot.
very hot. It's still very hot. So,
H-A-T.
yeah. And also, it's still hot in Vegas. So, ano ba? Global warming? Global warming siguro.
Hot day. Hot.
Okay, without further ado, I will introduce our next guest. So our next guest is a longtime friend of mine. I've known him here in Vegas since like 2006, 2007.
Yes.
And we met at the bank branch where I used to work at, and he owns Definitive Talents. Without further ado, Mr. Ron Cabildo, my good friend. How are you, sir?
How are you? Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat.
Kumusta na ka? Kumusta ka na? Binisaya kita.
Doing really well, and thank you for having me here.
Of
and
course.
I really appreciate, and it's such a privilege and honor to be here today.
Of course, yeah. Long time no see, sir. What have you been doing lately? Ano bang,
We've been busy. We
yeah.
do a lot. My business is multifaceted, but it's always within the realm of entertainment.
Yeah.
So we just finished Foodie Festival, the Great American Foodie Festival.
Oh.
And that's my stage that was there, and the lineup of artists that we produce and direct.
Oh.
But this time, I really, was on the trenches because, I was a sound man at the same time. So I wear a lot of hats. Today is a brown hat.
I know. That's right.
A hot
why.
day today.
Yeah, we should have entitled "It's a Hat Day."
Yes, they're hat day. But we're forgetting the glasses.
Hat
And glasses.
And glasses. It makes it more hip, right?
As our
Yeah.
definitive DEFTAL is definitive,
Definitive
talent.
talent.
Definitive
Yeah,
talent.
that's
So abbreviation of, the name itself.
Right.
Really, when I was like formulating a name, I wanted something that rings a bell. During that time, Def Jam was like, big,
Oh yeah,
right?
back then, yeah.
But back
yeah.
then, it was just like really big. So I said
Yeah.
something familiar.
Yeah.
So at least if I have the intellectual property for the
Yes,
trademark,
yes,
I can
yes,
use it as near as Def Jam.
Yeah, so Def Jam was it Face Records yung sa hip hop
Yeah.
naman yung
Definitive
records.
jamming.
Def
No,
Jam
it
was
yeah.
Was it East Coast? Was it East Coast?
East Coast,
Yeah, was it
yeah.
East Coast? Yeah,
Yeah.
Def Jam yung
Yeah.
mga sina Puff Daddy or something.
Yeah.
It was Def Jam.
Yeah.
Babyface yun.
Yeah.
Yun, yeah.
Si Babyface, it's another label.
Left Face naman yun sa
Yeah,
kanila.
iba
no?
naman sa
Yeah,
kanila.
yeah.
Pero Def Jam was like a lot of the rappers.
Yeah, rappers.
50 Cent. and
Yeah.
All of them, Eminem. There were still,
Oh,
Def
wow,
Jam.
Eminem.
All,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
A lot of.
So Ron, here briefly, you came from Chicago.
Yes, the
And
cold
then
city of
there you
Chicago.
go, the Windy City, the Windy City.
Yes.
Chi-town.
Yes.
Wow.
So
Yes.
coming from Chicago, were you already doing what you are doing now there in Chicago? Before we go into Definitive
I have
Talents.
always been a musician. That's the whole thing. The whole premise is I followed my heart in the art that I believed in, right? So during that time, I was involved in different bands. I was also a DJ and MC.
Yeah,
I produced, music and all that good stuff. But Chicago is a roof that when you hit it and what you do as an entertainer, you have to find somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they always thought, they always say that you go West Coast or you go East Coast, right?
Yeah.
For me, I just like to have the sun and have the
Right.
nice weather. And I'm sick and tired of snow. So I decided maybe I go to my childhood dream, which is to perform in Las Vegas.
Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
So
of
when I
course.
came here, I was a performer. I was involved in a band called Intensity, which I love dearly the most. Is my best experience in my life.
Was it here in Vegas?
In Las Vegas. They recruited me from Chicago because they were putting a band together that will go into a battle of the bands for the Boyd Gaming, and the prize winning was a contract for $250,000.
Oh wow.
So it was definitely challenging because I got kids and I got a wife.
Yeah.
And at that time when I was trying to,
You were playing for a band. Sorry to cut you, but
Yeah.
what kind of instrument were you?
I've always been voice. I've always been
voice. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I've always
So-
been voice. My instrument is voice. I've always been a singer.
Okay.
And when I went there, I went here. It was like back and forth
Yeah.
because I need to settle a lot of
Yeah.
things in Chicago. To answer your question, yes, I've always been a musician my rest of my life, and I think until I die, I will always be a musician. But that's the passion side of me. The business side of me is I've learned to convert my hobby and my passion into something that would feed the kids and
True.
have money in the bank and save for the future.
So I know that's why the first time we met, when he came into the bank branch, it's like, wow, this guy's like, I don't know, for some reason we clicked right
Yes,
away.
we did right
It was
away.
like, oh, no wonder, like he plays music, and then after
Yes.
that he invited me to I believe
most
you
of the
just
shows.
opened up your business at that time
Yeah.
with DEFTAL, and then
Yeah.
he was
The bank
inviting me
branch
to
was-
almost everywhere.
Yeah, the bank branch, your bank branch was my first bank here.
Yeah, yeah.
And I and as what I said earlier, I always keep Citibank in my pocket.
Yeah, it's
But
like you always
it was
have
always a
this lighter feeling towards someone, like when you musicians meet, it's like,
Musicians, yeah.
hey man, let's
Yep.
do this.
And once we start talking about songs,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we
It
click more.
clicked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
let's talk about your business, DEFTAL. I believe it was it already shown in the
I think
in our screen here. So we do have so tell us all about DEFTAL and how you started it, and what it does, what you do for the community, for talents, and just briefly go ahead, Ron.
Definitely. So it's a multifaceted company in which we don't only stick on representing artists into the casino lounges or showrooms or anything else. We have DJs, bands, we have actors, not much as actors, comedians, magicians, all of that stuff, dancers. We represent them in in different environments, such as booking and brokering their artistry in the casinos, the festivals, corporate cruise ships, etc., right? The other things that we have as a hardware specialist is we rent sound, we rent stages,
Stage rental, sound system, no?
sound system.
Yeah.
And we
DJ hire as well.
yes,
Look at
yes,
that event
definitely.
planning. I
Event
think
planning. We're big in event planning and production. We put mid-scale to
Yeah.
larger scale productions.
it's a lot.
But really, it's more of like me following what I know.
Yeah.
So I know all of this stuff, so I stuck with it.
Yeah.
And now I get to hire other people, help the economy,
Good.
help the musicians, and help other
community,
people to
yeah.
the
or you
community.
do
Yeah.
weddings too.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
we do
does.
weddings. We do anything that you can think of, as long as there's music in it. As long as there's lights in it. As
Yeah.
long as there's people moving for those purposes, we are there.
Yeah, because from what I know, from the very basics or from the get go, I knew you as someone who scouts talents based on our title here. Someone who just scouts talents to the casinos and to
Yes.
someone who needs talent or bands.
Yeah.
That's what you initially did, right? If I'm
Yes.
not mistaken.
Yes, the process is a little bit different than everybody else knows, because a lot of the things that we do as we are, people think that we have the ability to just like hire anybody and put them in one space, right? The truth of the matter is, it's a client driven, tailored
Yes.
kind of calling for a particular artistry. A blank space. When they give it to us, we have to also analyze, it's like, will a live band fit in here in this space,
right.
or will a DJ take
Yeah.
the positioning of a band.
Right.
And a lot of animosity comes up with that because the bands wants their gig and the DJs needs a gig, right?
Yeah.
The problem is they don't realize that that space really need a particular style of entertainment, and that's when we come in as a consultant for our venues, and that's when we come in as like, okay, I'm not gonna show you all my roster listing, because after I show you my roster listing of talents, you're just gonna pick who's beautiful,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or who sounds good.
Right.
Why don't we talk how we can recoup what you're gonna spend for the talent,
Right.
what it will accumulate for the space on square footage wise, how much what they would like to eat
To
here,
achieve
what
that,
to eat, what to drink.
exactly.
So F&B and marketing also benefit out of it, because population brings in gamblers, because
right.
my playground is casino,
Yeah.
for example, right?
Right.
So I am known, my company is known for booking bands, DJs, and other artists in the casino level.
Right.
So when you mentioned, when we first met, that was my main goal, to be in the casino as a performer, and then
Right.
also as an agency. Unfortunately, I have to I will have to take one hat off to put the other one.
Right.
And that is to be a full-time musician and
Right.
venture into the
Right.
business.
Yeah, before I have Mia ask you the next question, just on a side note, is your business like unique to everybody else? Are you the only one in the industry who does this? Like to
No. First of all, my competitors are not my competitors. They're my inspiration to, to be better each day. So I give them props,
Yeah.
And we do the same thing. We just have a different approach.
Right.
And the license of having a talent agency and a producer
Right.
is actually almost the same. It's the same process of getting it right. So everybody can be what I do, right?
Right.
It's just that I approach it differently, so everybody inherits the outcome, the positive outcome.
Right.
Hindi po pwedeng porket magaling yung artista. Can I speak Tagalog?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Pag magaling artista, assume na natin na siya na yung artista
Right,
para
right,
sa space, right?
right.
So the venue needs to qualify the right
Right.
artist, and that's where I come in.
Yeah.
That's where the hard work comes in, because it might not be in my roster.
Yeah.
So now I have to go talent scouting, which
Right,
is
right.
one of the scope or one of the things that you guys want to.
Tama yung pagkasabi mo na you would always need to cater to the needs of your clientele.
Yes.
And kasi if most of the, like, if you look at it in an age group, let's say, the people who will mostly be there are within the 80s, type of music, and you play modern hip hop, and
It won't fit.
Exactly.
It won't
it's
fit.
Like, it's not one size fits all
Yep.
for any talent
Yep.
agency out there.
And that is the culprit of the talents that goes to my my door, knocking on my door, saying, hey, I got this and that, but I don't specialize on that.
Hard job.
It's not my specialty. If you come in here and you're gonna tell me you're a variety band, now also think how many variety bands I got.
True.
What
Available.
do you have that will stand out from the rest?
Competition din.
So I can somehow pitch it better. The moral of the story is to know what we do,
Yeah.
where we go, and who's our client list.
Yeah.
Once you figure that out, then you can come in. It's like, tomorrow I'll be a DJ, but tonight I'm a singing saxophone, right? Rick Parma, by the way, one of my might find it. I love Rick Parma. He's a saxophone singer. He's also DJ.
Oh.
Yeah. So he does 90s R&B. So that, for example, hits a lot of segments. I said the 90s kids are now buying beers. They're not now eating at the restaurant.
right.
They're now
True.
buying
Changing times.
expensive liquors and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they want. That's what venue wants.
Yeah.
A return on their investment.
Yeah. No, Mia has a question here for you. Go ahead with your question, Mia.
Yeah, how about what can the local businesses do to support the talents that you have?
Yes. So the production side, most especially, and there is no doubt about it, and we all know it. They all come here and they promote their shows, right? And one time there's probably 3 shows in one night, right? And the community, the person, right, has the opportunity to choose what he wants to see, right?
Yeah.
So you go to the places and basically watch the show you want to see, right? Support them in a way it's benefiting the bar, for example. This is the simplest example, right? Benefiting the bar. You come in there, it's a free show or it's a ticketed show, right? The ticketed show, you already supported them
Yeah.
on the ticket
Yeah.
sales.
Right.
But when you walk in there, there's still casinos are still looking. It's like, hey, is this a lucrative community for us to support,
True.
to have more shows,
Right.
to call Ron and produce more shows of its kind for a targeted market that they will come in and they will buy beer,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
will buy liquor, right?
That
And
was
they
the whole
will eat
purpose
food.
of that,
Yeah.
putting a band
Yeah.
there
We're
in the
putting a
first place
band
for
there.
entertainment
Yes.
to attract people.
To
People
attract
to come
people.
in, yeah.
And I'm a casino. So
Yeah.
first thing I'm gonna do is observe how this
Yeah.
band will perform,
Right.
when they will perform and when they will take a
Yeah.
break. And at the end of the night, people stay. Does people stay?
Yeah.
See,
Did it
there's
increase sales
a
or-
conversation earlier. I just keep on talking. I'm so
That's all
sorry.
right.
If you
We're
wouldn't mind.
listening.
No, I will stop you.
There's a conversation that happened just a couple of days ago at my studio, and the conversation is, we should not take a break. If everyone's dancing,
yeah.
let's go through it. You know, everyone's having a good time, right? True and not true. Okay. Every time you perform in a casino, breaks are very important for them
Yes.
to measure
I
how
totally
many
agree.
people will come out and play the games.
Oh, really?
All right.
Oh,
Totally agree.
ano.
So if the community or the population that goes into that room following that artist, right, is very supportive to what the casino offers, at the end of the night, they see that. They have a measuring stick somehow,
Yeah.
you know? That's why they want you to get gamer's card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Player's
yeah.
card,
All the
right?
time.
Then that's why they want you to have that particular headliner in the showroom, and then another supporting act
Yeah.
at, you know, the lounges,
Right.
and another supporting act,
Yeah.
which is the DJ in another
Ganun
lounge,
pala yung
right?
logic
Yeah,
nun.
I know.
So there is a study that happens every night.
Psychology, no?
A study pa pala yun, ano?
And also it's also
Behavioral psychology.
financial. You know, a lot of the things that they wanted
Yeah.
first is their target market. Who is their target
Right,
market?
right.
Is that artists bringing that target market into the building?
Yeah.
Does the building inherit anything aside from their presence?
Right.
Right?
I have a quick question for you. I don't mean to interrupt, but it's actually in relation to, you know, having that kind of scenario in a casino, because what I noticed was over probably last 2 decades that I've lived in Vegas, even before we met, when I came here early on in the 2000s, right? I see mostly Filipino show bands.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Like, why is that? Like, were they Filipinos before you came? Were they Filipinos that were like, they got scouted from the Philippines direct to Vegas, or were they locals here, or how did the Filipino show bands came to be? Like, growing up here in Vegas, it was
Yeah.
always like everywhere you go to a casino, it's like, oh, there's a Filipino show band here,
Yeah,
there's a ballroom
Filipino.
dancing here.
Yes.
It's like, are they the most lucrative ones? That should be my
this
question.
is a great segue on what I
Yeah.
wanted to do on my retirement. Not my retirement as I retire, as I get older. I want to to have a museum, museum where I can showcase the artistry of the Filipinos, the Filipino American musicians that opened the doors for us now,
Yeah.
right? Let's say, for example, Click, which I have so much respect, and I love the EB Brothers. For 50 years, they have been a lounge performer, and Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 that visited them, and Tony Orlando, even I think once Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack. I know that's too old for them. It's a little bit more, right?
Rat Pack talaga.
But they
Original
have
Vegas.
they have achieved what, you know, longevity what is right now.
Yeah.
No one lasts that long, but they did.
Yeah.
They chameleon and they morph into different bands until they achieve
Yeah.
that you know, that strength to stay put, right?
Right.
And then you get the Sunspot, and then you get the headliners, you get the SOS, you get
Yeah.
Lani Misalucha, and you got, totoo lang, ang common denominator nun, magaling talaga Pilipino sa
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Right?
Yeah.
Magaling talaga
Talented,
sa
very
music.
talented.
We are,
Yeah.
and the Bisayans, the Ilocanos,
Yeah,
the Tagalogs, no
yeah.
matter what region you are,
Yeah.
when you love music, you can express it. Kaya nga, minsan nagtatawanan tayo and then we laugh at it because it's the truth.
Yeah.
And
Right.
we're guilty, and I'm guilty, right? When I was growing up, I have this terrible accent, but when I sing, it's
You go-
gone.
I know
Yeah.
that.
Right?
It's magic.
gone.
It's magic. Yeah, I know, it's
right?
magic.
Even
Yeah.
the contest right now,
Yeah.
you got contestants there. As soon as they and I
know.
I have to repeat this. It is out of respect that I'm mentioning this
Yeah.
because it's magical. It's something
Yeah.
different.
So-
something to something that is so special that also within the musician community is
Yeah.
the camaraderie.
Right.
Magagaling kasi tayo makisama eh.
Yeah.
So, pag meron na tayo nakita magaling na gitarista, I'm a singer, right? You want to encourage them, hey, can we put
Yeah.
a band together?
Yeah.
So now the band has now the drummer, the singer, the guitar
May banda
player,
na.
the bass. Buo na.
Yeah.
So,
And I have known that for many years upon coming here. But really, there is no agency that's specialized for the Filipino artistry.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided, at that time, and I remember it was New Year's Eve, it's either I give up being an artist or represent a whole community of artists,
yeah.
by hanging up my artist hat and be an agent.
Yeah.
And I took the right path because now I can, whenever I itch, I just go up in any bands that I created,
you're
and I
in
just sing, right? So nothing is lost.
Yeah, you're
Nothing
in
is
the
lost.
entertainment capital of the world.
Yes.
You can't be wrong coming here and looking for, not just Filipino talent, but any talent
Yeah.
at all. Like I was just talking at a different episode. I mentioned that we needed more like jazz lounge. Like for people who likes
Yes.
jazz, there's not enough
Yes.
jazz music plays. I know there are,
Yep.
but it's just probably they're not mainstream and they're not funded well enough
Yep.
that people they don't get all the
Like a
support.
Sarvi.
Yeah, like compared to the mainstream, like
Yep.
it's DJ or show band or DJ or band or but those specific ones, like you would only see them at it's a ticketed event, like at the Smith Center, and it's like, man, and people sometimes, there's one over at the Sand Dollar.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have jazz there.
Yeah. Do you
and
like
that's what
jazz?
I watch. Yeah, I
Jazz
love
is your
jazz.
genre.
Yeah. Well,
Jazz is-
I love mostly a lot of music, but
yeah.
I love to watch like something different,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me save my butt for a bit here, okay? Because my agency is not only for Filipinos. We are a mainstream agency.
Yeah.
I represent other nationalities
Yeah.
in the agency, and I think it's best to answer your question of why, right? Why do we need? Is the Filipino talents
Yeah.
thriving
Right.
whenever they get together
Yeah.
and they are placed?
Yeah.
Because first of all, they're great in their
Musicians.
musicianship, right?
Right.
They're a guitar player practice at home, rehearse with the band,
Yeah.
and perform
Yeah.
at the show.
Yeah.
Those are the three things that you
Right.
always gotta think about. right?
Very versatile.
Versatile and very
Yeah.
determined at the same
Yeah.
time. Ano rin sila,
Talented.
determinado, tsaka alam nila talaga pa-process. There's always a process to the craziness.
Oh,
right?
meron akong segue dyan sa ano mo. So, when you say Filipinos, like being an artist, like they're playing at a casino, how would you explain like, like let's say teenager planning to go into music, passion for music, yung question niya is always like when you came to Vegas, it's like, how can I feed my family with this? Is this a more lucrative thing for me to pursue really? And then they just some of them they just lose their dream. What is your advice? Anong
Kasi,
mapapayo mo?
Francis, it's a very sensitive topic for me, right? Because I'm passionate in my art, but I'm great in my business, right? The business came into play through the years of learning how to run a business, right? The passion came into play when I was 8 years
Ever
old.
since.
Right?
Yeah.
7 years old. I'm already singing in
Yeah.
front of people. Right? I just learned how important the business be part of the passion to capitalize of in what is needed in the market. Right?
Talent, yeah.
Ang importante talaga magkaroon ng education right from the get-go. What is reality and what is a dream?
True,
Right?
true.
The reality is you might be the best saxophone player, but if you get into an audition phase and there's 25
Others.
best saxophonists there,
Yeah.
how do you
That could
stand out?
kill
And
your dream.
How do you stand
Yeah,
out? And how do you
automatically.
handle that? How do you handle rejection?
That's
When you
right.
stand up again,
Yeah.
wipe your knee and
Kailangan
move
matatag
on.
ka.
Kailangan matatag ka.
Yeah.
Totoo yun.
It can-
But let me give you an example. Perfect example is you. You're a musician, but you have a career,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there's nothing wrong to have a job during the day
Yeah, yeah.
and follow your dream in the evening.
Right.
There is nothing wrong to pursue college
Oh,
during the day, right? And still continue your dream.
Yeah.
The
Still have that
passion, yeah.
dream.
You
Just
can-
keep pursuing it.
Yes.
Kasi yung iba, they kill it and then, oh, you know what? I used to play guitar before and now no more. Like, what happened? Like,
Yeah.
you should pursue.
Pursue it.
Put a
Yeah.
passion.
And you
For the
wouldn't know
passion.
that somebody special, somebody think that what you're playing is the right thing
True,
for
true.
what he's looking for, which
Yeah.
is me. I'm a talent scout. I would just come into a place and I was like, this guy's good.
Yeah.
This girl is wonderful. And then I start talking, and he has the qualities to be successful. Who knows when would that be?
Yeah.
Right? But exposure is one of the things that you always, as an artist, need to find.
Yeah.
Exposure means to say, sometimes going into a venue, I know a guy who is an unbelievable piano player. Talaga ang galing niya, kahit saan mo dalhin, magaling siya. Kaya lang hindi ko madala because he stays in the basement.
Oh.
Right? He does not want to go out and
Leave.
expose
Yeah.
himself to be known, right? So the exposure,
Literally.
literally, ang galing niya talagang, come on, man, I gotta show you to my client.
Yeah.
No, it's not done yet. I have to redo the video again. Right, nasa video format pa lang tayo, wala pa sa personal appearance, right?
Yeah.
You need to be daring. Number one, you need to be daring.
Personality.
No, how many times I've been booed on stage?
Yeah.
You have to have thick skin in this business.
Sorry I don't mean to cut you off, but we're running out of time. So do you have any parting words for our viewers, to our viewers? Ako meron ako before I forget. I've learned that Filipinos who think they have a thick accent. Kasi
Yes.
sabi ni Ron kanina, in order for you to have no accent at all, just sing when you're talking. Right? Before we go into our
That's a
joke.
great joke.
Before we go, sasabihin mo na
I
lang.
sing my way out.
Yeah, kanta ka na lang because right, you said the accent will disappear when you're singing. So if you're conscious na ano yung accent ko, I have a heavy accent. Come on, don't worry about your accent. Your accent is your fingerprint yan, di ba?
Yeah.
Right. So how about your parting words before we go into...
Well, I got something because people would always knock on my door, and I have to figure out if they're like a guitar player or a singer, right? So how would you tell?
Oh, joke time na pala.
Parting words.
Meron tayong...
May part-
Ting,
okay.
ting, 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 ting. Kuya Yo, it's joke time. There.
There
Can you hear
you
it there?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How can you tell when a singer is at your door?
How? Naghara na siya.
A singer,
How can you tell though if a singer is at your door?
nagmo-modulate.
Ooh, no, the answer is he can find the key and doesn't know when to come in.
Find the key daw. Wala, hindi siya talaga makakapasok kasi you can find the key. Okay. Mia,
My turn. Why did the bike fall?
why did the bike fall?
The bike.
Why?
Because it's too tired.
What do you call... My turn. What do you call a one-eyed deer. What do you call a one-eyed deer? Yung isang mata lang na bulak na
Duling.
yun to. Duling? Hindi.
Unloved.
I have no idea. Alright, ikaw meron kang gustong batiin, Mr. Ron. Do you wanna bati your family and
Yes.
friends?
I'd like to say hello to all my family members, my kids most especially, and my beautiful girlfriend Emily. She's always been an inspiration to what I do. My mother and everyone. Right?
Oh, I
So
make the sound
family-
effects. Aw.
In what I do, there's three things that I always believe in. Number one is God. Second is family. And three is being here with friends like you.
Kudos
Thank
to you,
you very
Mr. Ron. I'm proud of what you do
Yeah.
for your family, for friends, and for everyone out in the community. You're great help to a lot of
Salamat po.
talents out
Yeah,
there. Really,
a lot
like
of-
I've known you for
Salamat.
quite a while. Mia,
Thank you.
Yes. Kudos to you. My kids are performers, so
Thank you.
wow, there you go.
I can't wait for them to
LVA
Yeah.
yun sila, LVA. Lahat,
LVA.
di ba? All
Mga
of
anak
them
ko
are
rin
LVA. Yeah,
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
Yung akin lang hindi.
Very, very good performer.
But she's a good
din
singer,
naman.
you know. I hope she got it from me. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us at Buhay Bahayan. That was great
Buhay
fun
Bahayan.
with Mr. Ron Cabildo. Salamat, Mr.
Thank you.
Ron.
Thank
Anytime,
you.
stop by ka dito. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you for watching.
Take care.
Thank you for listening. Bye-bye. See you again on the next one. Bye-bye.
Was that good, guys?
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.